Some days are better than others. And on the bad days, this too shall pass. And on the good days, this too shall pass.
This is your first day in real estate, and I am your real estate sales trainer and coach, James Festini. And this is the program that's going to teach you how to sell more real estate in less time.
Some days being better than others, some days not. Some days are good, some days are bad. Not that some days are worse and some days are better. I just say that you've got to roll with the punches regardless. This real estate industry is a roller coaster of emotion and a tidal wave of income and depletion. And if you're not paying attention to what's up ahead, the signpost up ahead, you will be caught off guard. So I say in the beginning, whether it's a good day or a bad day, this too shall pass. And I want to talk about the bad days. And I'm not saying like bad days. For example, I mean, yeah, you could have a deal fall apart. You could have a client yell at you. You could have someone, I don't know, I've never been sued, which is, you know, knock on wood. I've never been sued, never been to court, never been subpoenaed, none of that stuff, because, you know, being honest, being level-headed, being transparent, just doing the right thing just seems to be working out for me, you know, for my life. I'm just a good person. You be a good person, good things happen. And sometimes bad things happen to good people, but when it comes to business, you should do all right. But when it comes to, for example, what led me to this conversation, what led me to this dialogue, it is the days where I prospect for a week. 100 calls a day, 100 doors a day. There are days where I will go 100 doors and make 100 contacts by phone, pretty much an 8-hour day of prospecting, and nothing will come of it. Like zero, like no results. Not one lead. Appointments, well, this goes to expectations. It always comes back to the expectation that you put. So do you think that you're going to go out and talk to 30 people by telephone and set up a listing presentation? Where did you get that impression? Who gave you that impression? Who set you up with that expectation? Where did you get this idea? Did you go to a seminar that said make 30 contacts by phone? That those are the numbers? You got to look at your source. You got to look at the person who taught that and say, where did they get their numbers? People just don't look at the numbers. They don't realize the reality of the situation when it comes to the numbers. And I have a lot of people come to me and go, James, I heard such and such, you get X amount from this. It was my manager from the office. He reached out to me like 2 weeks ago and goes, James, I was at a seminar or webinar earlier today where the guy said along the lines of, if you make 100 outbound calls a day, you'll get a listing appointment every week. Is that true? Because that doesn't sound right. I'm like, 100 outbound calls to who? Right? To who? Even expireds, 100 outbound calls to expireds. How are you going to do that? Are we talking old expireds now? Because there's not that many expireds in my territory. There's 100 outbound calls. That's just doesn't exist. So are we talking about 100 contacts by phone, or are we talking about just ringing 100 people? You see, the averages across my tribe are that for every 100 outbound dials, the averages are about 6% of the people will pick up the phone. So you make 100 outbound calls in the real world, and you will get roughly 6 people answer the phone. So if you're saying 6 people answer the phone, are you talking about 6 people answer the phone and then you make that 100? Which means you have to dial like 600 phone numbers to get 100 if your averages are 6, but sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. This all making sense? So your expectations are set up. And if your expectations for bad days and good days are, a bad day is a day I don't get an appointment, you're gonna have a lot of bad days. A bad day, a good day is a day I do get an appointment. Well, what if you don't get an appointment? Is that a bad day? I mean, obviously the goal is to every day work towards getting a listing presentation or showing a buyer, qualified buyer, motivated buyer, a home to purchase. Those are the goals daily. I don't know if this is tracking me, by the way. Those are the goals daily. But is that a reality? Is that, if you're going out on, again, these numbers that these people throw out, especially the seminars and the webinars, where they say make X amount of calls and you get listings. I always, really, the craziest part is when I see these webinars where they're like, where they say, this person made 13, he called 30 for sale by owners and got 15 appointments. Like, wow, 15 appointments. Even if they got half of them, say 7 of them, that's really good. Who is this person holding the webinar? That's impressive. So I track down the person who's being the guest on the seminar or webinar, and then I look at that person, and they have 1 listing, 2 listings, 3 listings. And I'm thinking to myself, forgive my math, but did this person just call once and then make those 13 or 15 presentations and listed all 7 of them, and they're now in escrow and closed and decided to start a career in training? I'm trying to figure out the steps, the process by which this individual went from a successful agent, makes 15 appointments on a for sale by owner, and then decides that's it. Let's just go ahead and start training people on this, without saying, wait, there's more money in real estate. All day long, there's more money in real estate than training. Why on earth wouldn't they just then screw doing the seminar, go out and do this 5 times a week for a month straight, pick up 20 listings, do it over and over and over, because clearly if you're teaching it, it's duplicatable. Do it over and over and sell 100, 200 sides a year. Expand to where you have maybe 2 buyer's agents, and train someone to make those same calls for you while you do the calls. But if you train someone to do the calls for you, then your whole time is spent on listing presentations, because the script in this training is so fantastic. Am I making a sense here? Are you guys seeing a pattern here where, what's the catch? The expectations for a bad day starts in the morning. It starts the day before, and it starts on your previous 1 or 2 training sessions where somebody lies to you, or they're just careless with the truth. But that's enough. You see, sometimes you go into this business and you think it's a bad year because you didn't sell 100 transactions. Like, you come into this business and you think, I'm going to do 100 transactions because I listened on such and such's podcast that this guy does 100. Or I went to the Father, the Son, or the Irishman's seminar or webinar or stage presence, the summit retreat or whatever, and they have those panelists, and those panelists are doing 100, 200, 300 transactions a year, and you think, well, that guy's an idiot. I could definitely do 100. And then you fly back into your town, USA, not realizing that their town, that there are probably 10 people who do 100 transactions a year. And in your town, there are 0 people who have ever done a transaction in their entire careers, because that's not realistic for your community. And you get yourself set up to think that that's possible. And when it's not possible, that's a bad day. That's a bad year. Why can't I do this? Instead of going back and looking at the reality and saying, oh, that's them. This is me. What am I capable of doing? Let's go. And I'm just here as a reminder. I'm not here to rain on your parade. I'm not here to tell you it's not possible. I'm just here to tell you that it is totally, highly likely that you're going to be capable of doing your best that you can do based on the expectations you have, and that every day that you don't give up is a good day. Every day that you don't give up, that you go in and you make 100 contacts, or you knock on 100 doors and nothing really happens, but you go back at it the next day, that is a good day. It might not be the day you wanted, but because your expectations are in line with the reality, it is a day you can enjoy as a top producing agent and nothing else. So thank you very much for watching. I hope your expectations are set. I hope you understand every day is a good day in this business. As long as you can keep your license and do good by other people and work really hard and make sky's the limit, every day is a good day. And sometimes you have bad ones, but this too shall pass. Now get back to work. Make sure you shop my products though. It's all good.
This episode is brought to you by MojoSells.com. Expireds for sell by owners and prospecting solutions along with DNC compliance. It is my CRM of choice because I can set up emails and letters and follow-up campaigns to follow up more efficiently with the leads that I generate. Go to MojoSells.com and make sure you tell them Festini sent you. This episode is also brought to you by Spodio, the perfect door knock companion. Download the Spodio app today. You want more knowledge? Please find me anywhere you consume content. On YouTube, go to James Festini. If you want to listen to my content on iTunes, please leave me a 5-star review. Join the Festini Mafia at jamesfestini.com/training. There you'll find all of my products and information. If you like to make money, get back to work.